Hello again, everybody. This is Jim from Jim's Holiest the Coleus, and we're just going to shoot out another video. I'm so impressed by how my crop is doing this year. We're getting a lot of good, healthy sunlight, and they're just exploding now. They're at a point now where they're really looking healthy. Very happy with the way they're going right now. I took a few of the pods out. Let me move this out of the way. See if this one will show. And as you can see, we're getting a lot of. Let's get that root in there. We're getting that nice, strong roots, and that is great. I'm very pleased to see that. And what's important with these pods again, when I water them, I use that pump sprayer as I showed, but I try to also put some water on the bottom, not on the pods, but I'll actually put some water, tilt this, put some water on the bottom to make sure that the bottoms of these pods get water, because you want, one way to motivate, or I'm looking for a better word, but one way to really get the roots, you want, like your lawn, you want to make sure that you water your lawn well to get the roots to grow deeper. If you just keep water superficial, if you just water a little bit, then you're only watering the little roots, and you're not causing the roots to go deeper into the soil to find some water. You can put it that way. So by watering these, by making sure that I don't overwater them, to make sure that the bottoms are equally moist, that will get your roots to start to grow throughout the pod. And you want a nice, strong, structured root system like what was just shown here. So when it comes time for me to separate these, I'll do a video on that. I'll be separating two Coleus here. Yeah, I'll be. I try not to damage the root system, but these are the Coleus at this point are just so. They just come right back. So when I do pot these and separate them, I'm not damaging. By separating the Coleus. But as you can see, I got a lot of nice growth here. Some are already showing their colors, and I just have a few samples of. That's my other Yorkie, Beauregard, Bobo. Hey, Bobo. That's it. I have a few samples of some pots that I have. These are little pots. I have a whole bunch of these. I have some more on order. I love these. These are just, the colors are beautiful. But again, I don't separate these yet into these pots. I wait until I have an idea of, once the actual Coleus starts to develop and it's a little more mature, and I know what the color is, so forth. Then I'll, mostly with these here, then I'll organize and design my pots. So, but this does look like an awful lot. I did have a follower. I guess he'd never seen so many Coleus packed together here, and some may argue that these are very crowded and I'm doing a lot of extra work, but not really. Again, I did years ago. I used to oversow them. It was way too much, but this looks like a lot, but that's because they're together, they're close, they're in pods. So it's not as difficult as I can show here. Here's 3. So there's 3 Coleus here. So you can get that autofocus in. There we go. There's your 3 Coleus. So it's not that difficult when it comes time for me to separate these, or at the time, I can just put them right into a pot. I can just put them directly into a pot, and I make that decision later on. Right now, my goal is to make sure that these get plenty of light. Again, I go back to my bay window. Although I do have my greenhouse, those they head back there at night, and I close the flap there to keep them nice and warm. But in the daytime, I let them get some sun. I just monitor them, make sure that they're not dried out. Now this is indirect, mid late winter. I guess late winter sun. It's not intense. It's not that direct, sunburn type of sun that would damage these. But it's really beneficial to get as much light. As I said in my other video, you want to mimic the atmosphere, the conditions of a greenhouse, which is just lots of light. And if your plants are sun plants, you want them to get as much sun as possible. If they're like Coleus, where they don't like direct sun straight on, especially when they're young like this, lots of diffused light or indirect light, sunlight. Now, when I put these on that rack, there is sun, and but it's not a baking, intense sun, and it does wonders. It really starts to get these, they really start to grow. They get to a point now where they're really taking off. So I'm closely watching them. No fertilizer. Again, I mentioned something about the fertilizer. This is the time-release fertilizer that I've used, and that would be later on when your plants get into pots. Again, over your winters, if you're overwintering your Coleus, you do not fertilize. You wait until spring and so forth when they really start to come back and when they start growing. During the winter time, overwintering, it's not necessary to fertilize them. Just keep them trimmed. But these are really, again, this is a couple of years old. It's really starting to come in more and more. This one again, and I'm not really trimming this one too much. It does need some trimming because you can see it's starting to leg over. Half of its weight, and it's just starting to really. But I just don't want to stress it out, and right now, just letting it go. But it's a healthy plant. This is a Defiance Coleus, and they're really, really nice. And as you can see, the red is starting to come back. Here's another. And this one here needs to really be trimmed. This is a few years old also, and it's a decorative pot that I have a whole bunch of. And again, it's coming back. There's a lot of older leggy. There aren't any shoots coming in yet, and they will come in. And once I start trimming this down more, there's a few of the tops that I need to trim on this. But this will be back in another month or so. It'll be a wonderful Coleus. So really needs to be trimmed. It's a little tall, but it's a wonderful Coleus. So, and soon these will be too. I know there's a few here that are showing some color. And you look around, there's another one over here. And every day, more and more will start showing some of their color. And it's really neat. So, now I mentioned in my other video there was a few in here that did not germinate. I actually forgot. I like bell peppers, so I planted some bell pepper seeds in like 6. I think I planted about 12 peppers, so I put 2 or 3 bell pepper plants, and that's why they did not germinate, because they germinated at a different time. They take a little longer to germinate than Coleus seeds, but as you can see, they're coming in now. So that was that. I forgot all about that. So here too, I believe there were some. But I think I put a few Coleus seeds down here because if I look back, I just planted the peppers on this side. So, but they're coming in. That I just moved from the other tray just to give some of these room. There was a couple of them that were really, really. I mean, they're crowded, but I I just moved that one over here. But again, these I planted this little tray a few weeks back. I had some extra pods. So again, there was one Coleus here. You can see that it's a little more washed out. That could be a number of things, and I can pull that out and get rid of it. That could be just its reaction to water, too much water. Although I did try my best not to. But that could be any number of things, but I'll yank that out of there. I try not to pull any. I do not thin these out now at all. I don't want to do. I really don't disturb any of these. There is a pod or two that I really overseeded, like that one. That really could be. That needs to be. And I'll get a tweezer and thin that out a little more, because there's the 10 there. That's just too much. Those I threw together. You know, that was a couple of the pods that did not germinate. So I threw some extras in there haphazardly, as you can see. But they're doing really well. The nice green. They're very healthy looking. This is actually, I believe this is the healthiest crop looking back over the years that I've made. Particularly because of that root system that I showed earlier. To see the roots that progressed already and entrenched into these pods where they're actually coming out of the pod is great. So you can actually take this pod and just take a pot and fill it with your potting soil and bury the pod. You don't even have to take the netting off. You can just put the pod right in and just gently cover around the plant, around the germination. Just be careful not to disturb the little your little ears there, because the little photosynthesis, that's your original. That's these basically. Just try not to disturb those. I mean, if one falls off, you can't help it. It's not going to kill the plant, but I try again. At this point, I really don't try to mess with these as much as I want to start my pots. I know it that I do not, based on what I do, my goal, what I do here, because I have so many, and the purpose of why I grow this many. So, all right. So we'll keep these in the sun for a few more hours. I rotate the trays around. And I'll keep these in there until, a good few hours. And this is like a pre-hardening. Getting them used to sun, and it only makes for stronger Coleuses. And I will make a video. I have some older videos on how to harden your plants later on when they grow and they're in pots before you put your Coleus outside. You can't just throw young Coleus outside. Even if you live in a climate right now where you don't have a winter like New Jersey and it's still warm year-round, you don't put your young plants right out into the elements. You need to harden them. You have to get them used to the elements, and there's a specific way to do that. So, all right, so everybody following along, I hope this is helping out. I hope you're getting the same results. There's no reason why you don't. You can do it. There's no such thing. Some people say, I don't have a green thumb, I instantly kill plants. I don't know. I guess if you really put an effort into it, you can do it. It's my moniker. You can do this, and you can. So any comments? I'm very happy. I'm over 1,000 members now. I'm at 1,018, I believe, so I'm really happy. Thanks a lot. Appreciate all the subscribers, and I really enjoy the comments all over the world. From Egypt, Abdallah, shout out to you. Wish you luck on your YouTube page. I'm looking forward to seeing your Coleuses come along. And lots of other people from all over. It's really exciting. So, okay, everybody, we'll make a video in a couple of weeks or a week or so when something motivates me to shoot out a video out to you guys. I'll be sure to post one. Until then, just keep doing what you're doing. And any problems, any comments, anything, please please feel free. I look forward to them. All right, everybody, enjoy your week, and we'll look forward to the next time we talk. Take care, everyone.